तर एकदा फक्त स्लाइड्स दिसताय का ते चेक करा.
हो दिसतात स्लाइड.
ओके.
So good afternoon all. So today's session we are going to have on global regulatory information that we are actually trying to understand different regulatory for herbal and nutraceutical. For today's session, we have speaker, our own consultant, Ms. Rutuja Shinde Madam, who has got 2 years of industrial experience. She has worked in Leica Pharmaceuticals and Cipla Limited, which actually helps her to develop her expertise in formulation and development of various dosage forms, where including semi-solid and also effervescent tablets. So she is a registered pharmacist with masters in pharmacy, passed out in 2019. She was working as a faculty where she have guided uh, different master students and also undergraduate project. She has got about 3 years of academic experience. With this expertise, she is going to discuss with us different regulatory uh, norms which are there from different countries for herbals and for nutraceuticals. So over to you, uh, Rutuja Madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction. So, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining this session. Today, we'll explore the global regulatory framework for herbal and nutraceutical products. So, this is a complex but fascinating space uh, because every region of the world regulates these products differently, sometimes as a medicine, sometimes as a food, and sometimes as a unique category altogether. So over the next hour, we will build a roadmap to help you understand key regulators, identify challenges, and apply practical strategies for compliance. The goal is not only to understand the rules, but to see how to navigate them effectively for global market success. So, this session is designed. This session is designed for professional in regulatory affairs, compliance, or product development. By the end, you will have a clearer understanding of which regulatory bodies control herbal and nutraceutical products globally, what their unique requirements are, and how to approach multi-market compliance strategically. So the presentation agenda is: we'll start with an overview of global regulatory bodies. Then we will dive into regional frameworks: Africa, Middle East, Europe, America, and Asia Pacific. Next, we will cover compliance strategies for multiple market entry. We will discuss current challenges and future developments. And finally, we will wrap with the best practice and takeaways. So let me tell you first what is regulatory affairs is. So we'll see this with the help of code scenario. So say for example, pharmaceutical company is an applicant and RA professional is a lawyer with evidences, and judge is regulatory authority. So judge is giving the decision whether your product is able to be in a market or not. So this is we call it as a regulatory affair, which is the bridge between innovation and the law. So why regulatory affairs is required? So it is required for the drug development and commercialization, which is to support the drug development and product development, that ensures the products are approved correctly, to protect the human health by confirming safety and quality, to ensure efficacy so consumers and patients can trust what they use. Second is regulatory landscape. So, the global herbal and nutraceutical industry operates in a fragmented regulatory landscape. What counts as a supplement in one country might be a medicine in another. So, this creates two realities. One company face extra cost and effort tailoring their product for each market. Two, companies can strategically leverage markets with a faster approval or broader recognition as a reference market to ace entry elsewhere. So that is why a global perspective is essential. So we'll see now what are the global regulatory bodies are. Here you see the major players across the region. First is Africa, second is Middle East, Europe and America. So Africa is having SHPRA in South Africa, then CAPA in Egypt and NAFDAC in Nigeria. Then Middle East is having Saudi FDA, UAE Ministry of Health, Jordan FDA. Then Europe is having their regulatory authorities, EMA, EFSA, and national authorities. And America is having US FDA, Health Canada, and ANVISA, Brazil. So understanding these regulatory bodies and their jurisdictions is the first step toward a successful global compliance. We'll start with the South African Health Products Regulatory Authority. So, in South Africa, the key regulator is SHPRA, which is established in 2018. It regulates all health products, approves clinical trials, and enforces good manufacturing practices. For herbals, SHPRA uses a phased approach. Products often fall into category D, that is complementary medicines. Evidence of safety and efficacy is required, but traditional use data can sometimes substitute for clinical trials. The main challenge, increasing scrutiny on unsubstantiated claims. So, product must be backed by credible data. Second is the SHPRA regulatory framework for herbal products. So here is the framework in short. Classification. Herbal products are either complementary medicines or supplements. Registration. Quality, safety, and efficacy must be documented. Labeling requirements. Specific disclaimers are required. And recent developments. Stricter control on health claims, especially those without robust evidence. So South Africa is moving toward we can say higher standard. So companies must prepare for more documentation than in the past. Second is Egyptian Central Administration of Pharmaceutical Affairs, that is CAPA. It operates under Egypt Ministry of Health and Population and regulates all pharmaceutical products, including herbal and nutraceutical. The key regulatory aspects include registration process for herbal medicines requiring extensive documentation, separate pathway for food supplements versus herbal medicines, manufacturing facility inspections, and good manufacturing practice compliance. pharmacovigilance requirements for post-marketing monitoring. So Egypt can be a tough but important entry point into North Africa and the Middle East. There are some other notable African regulatory bodies that are Nigeria, NAFDAC, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, is particularly stringent on imported herbal products that requires good manufacturing practice certification, certificate of pharmaceutical product, laboratory analysis for heavy metals and microbial contamination. And Ghana FDA, Food and Drug Authority, has established a dedicated herbal medicine department, which is has some notable aspects. Relatively streamlined registration for traditional herbal product, emphasize on local manufacturing compliance, clinical trial requirements for novel herbal productions. So the common thread is increasing scrutiny on imported products and stronger emphasis on GMP compliance. Next is African regulatory landscape, common challenges. So challenges in Africa include harmonization gaps. Despite efforts by the African medicines regulatory harmonization initiatives, significant differences remain between countries and require some market specific strategies. Then traditional knowledge protection. So increasing scrutiny of product based on traditional African medicinal plants with requirements for benefit sharing with indigenous communities. Third one is enforcement variability. So inconsistent implementation of regulations across the continent, with the some markets having robust systems while other lack enforcement capacity. And last is documentation requirements. So extensive and sometimes duplicative documentation requirements that can delay market entry and increase compliance cost. So for companies, this means tailoring strategy to each market rather than relying on a one size fits all approach. Next authority is Middle East Saudi Food and Drug Authority. So this was established in 2003 and has developed one of the most comprehensive regulatory framework in the Middle East of herbal and nutraceutical products. So there are some key responsibilities which includes product registration and licensing, quality control and monitoring, post-market surveillance, inspection of manufacturing facilities, health claims evaluation and control. So Saudi Arabia is influential in the region. Approval here often support access to other Gulf states. Next is SFDA regulatory pathway. So these are, we can say, the Saudi FDA distinguish between three categories: herbal product, health supplement, and functional foods. So herbal product with the therapeutic claims are treated as a medicines requiring a full dossier. Health supplements without therapeutic claims face a more streamlined pathway. So these products without therapeutic claims follow a more streamlined registration process, which focusing on quality and safety rather than efficacy. And third and last is functional foods. So functional foods fall under food regulations with additional rules for functional ingredients. So the takeaway here is that classification determines everything. What you claim on the label directly affects the regulatory pathway you must follow. Next one is United Arab Emirates Ministry of Health. So this UAE MOH along with the Emirates Health Authority oversees the registration and regulation of herbal and nutraceutical products. So there are some important regulatory aspects. Classification based on approach, traditional medicine versus supplements. Free zone versus mainland registration requirements differ significantly. Requirements for halal certification and many product category. Recent establishment of dedicated nutraceuticals department. So this halal certification is for Islamic, what we can say, halal compliance refers to the process of ensuring the product, service, and practice adhere to Islamic dietary law and ethical guidelines, commonly known as the Sharia law. And it applies not only to food but also to pharmaceuticals, cosmetic, and even financial services. There are some other key Middle Eastern regulatory bodies. Jordan Food and Drug Administration that has established a relatively streamlined system for herbal registrations, simplified pathway of traditional herbal products, recognition of international certificates, that is European Union, US, Australia, regional reference point for regulatory standards, then Qatar Ministry of Public Health. Distinctive regulatory aspects include mandatory verification of halal status, then stringent requirement for stability in high temperatures, extensive documentation for source materials. Gulf Corporation Council countries are working toward harmonization through significant variations remain in implementation and enforcement. Next is Middle East key regulatory challenges. So three big challenges, four big challenges in the Middle East are halal compliance, labeling and language, climatic zone consideration, local present representations. So halal compliance, every stage of production from ingredient to facilities may need certification. Then labeling and language, the Arabic labels are mandatory and exact requirements differ between countries. Then climatic conditions, zone 4A, stability testing is often required, meaning you must demonstrate product stability in hot and humid environments. And local representation requirements for local agents or scientific offices in most countries, adding complexity and cost to market entry strategy. Next is European Medicines Agency. So the EMA coordinates the evaluation and supervision of medicinal product across the EU, including herbal medicinal products. So there are some key responsibilities. First is scientific evaluation of marketing authorization applications, supervision of approved medicines, harmonization of regulatory standards, and pharmacovigilance coordination. So the Committee of Herbal Medicinal Products specifically focus on herbal medicines and has established important frameworks for their regulation. Next one is the European Food Safety Authority. So this is responsible for risk assessment, which is related to food and feed safety, including botanical food supplements and nutraceuticals. The key responsibilities in herbal nutraceutical space are scientific assessment of health claim, safety evaluation of novel food ingredients, risk assessment of botanicals used in food supplement, guidance on maximum level of substances. So this creates a marketing bottleneck for supplement across the European Union. Next one is European Union National Competent Authorities. So even though the European Union harmonizes many rules, national authorities still play a big role. So in Germany, the Commission's e-monographs are considered gold standard reference for herbals. In France, ANSM enforces stricter requirements for traditional herbals, and in Italy it is more flexible, especially with the botanical food supplements. So this shows that despite European Union level guidance, companies must still adapt to national interpretation. This is the borderline product challenges. So one of the trickiest areas in Europe is classification. A product could be a medicinal product under Directive 2001 by 83 EC, requires a marketing authorization with safety and efficacy data, and a food supplement under Directive 2002 by 46 EC, notification procedure rather than pre-market approval. Medical device. Some herbal product with the physical mode of action may fall under regulation European Union 2017 by 745, and novel food requires pre-market authorization under regulation 2015 by 2283 if no significant history of consumption before May 1997. So the same herbal formula might fall into different categories depending on claims and country. So this creates uncertainty and often slow down the product launches. Next is regulatory challenges for herbal and nutraceuticals in European Union. Four key challenges stands out in Europe. First is health claim bottleneck. Second is traditional herbal registration cost, mutual recognition challenge, and novel food uncertainty. So health claim bottleneck, most botanical claims are rejected by EFSA because in the rejection of most botanical health claims, creating claims of for the industry and limiting consumers communication. The cost of complying with the traditional herbal medicinal products directive has been prohibitive for many SMEs, reducing product availability and innovation. um, Despite a theoretical European Union harmonization, significant differences in the national interpretations create barriers to the mutual recognition procedure, and novel food uncertainty. Plants with long use elsewhere may still be blocked if no EU history exists. So this makes Europe one of the hardest but most important market for herbal and nutraceutical products. So this is Medicines and Healthcare Product Regulatory Agency (MHRA). So this UK's Medicines and Healthcare Product Regulatory Agency or MHRA regulates herbal medicines. It runs the traditional herbal registration scheme, oversees marketing authorizations, and enforces action against illegal products. Um, and it has the key responsibilities like marketing authorization of herbal medicines, traditional herbal registration, enforcement against illegal product, pharmacovigilance monitoring, manufacturing licenses and inspections. Next is post Brexit UK regulatory changes. So after Brexit, the UK post Brexit is the UK has mirrored many European Union rules, but also begin to diverge, especially in areas like health claims and novel foods. So after Brexit, the UK made several adjustments to herbal and nutraceutical regulation. The traditional herbal medicine registration scheme replaced the European Union directive, but still follows similar standards requiring safety, quality, and evidence of traditional use. The UK Health Claims Register was created initially copying EU approved claims, but with the option to diverge in the future. For novel foods, Applications now go through the UK Food Standard Agency instead of EFSA. So far, divergence is limited, but companies must now treat the UK as a separate regulatory system. Next is UK food supplement regulation. So the UK regulatory framework for food supplement continue to largely mirror the EU system, but is now independently administered. So, notably, the UK does not require pre-market notification for supplements, unlike some EU countries. However, trading standards authorities monitor compliance actively. So, health claims are restricted to those on the UK register, which still aligns with the EU approved claims for now, but divergence is expected. And future divergence, the UK government has indicated a potential future regulatory divergence, particularly for novel foods and health claim assessment. US FDA, United States Food and Drug Administration. So, in the United States, the Food and Drug Administration regulates dietary supplements under DSHEA, passed in 1994. That is Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act. So, unlike drugs, supplement don't require FDA approval before marketing. Instead, manufacturers are responsible for safety and quality, and the FDA enforces post-market. So, there are some key areas of oversight, include good manufacturing practice, new dietary ingredient notifications, adverse event reporting, and monitoring of claims. Next is DSHEA, a unique regulatory approach. So this created a separate category for supplement, distinct from both drug and food. There is no pre-market approval. Product goes straight to market if they are compliant. Then claims are limited to structure function, general well-being, or nutrient deficiency, but disease claims are prohibited. Then new dietary ingredients introduced after 1994 requires notification to the FDA at least 75 days before marketing, and manufacturers must follow dietary supplement GMP under 21 CFR Part 111. So this system permissive compared to Europe or Canada, but places responsibility squarely on manufacturers. So this is FDA dietary supplement claims categories. So in the US, the type of claim determines the regulatory requirements. Structure function claims like support immune health are allowed with substantiation but no FDA pre-approval. General well-being claims like promotes overall wellness require notification. Nutrient deficiency claims must include a statement about prevalence. Health claims linking to disease like may reduce heart disease risk, require significant scientific agreement or a qualified claim. So this framework gives flexibility but also creates gray areas where enforcement can occur. This is FDA enforcement priorities and actions. So the FDA has limited resources, so it focuses on high risk areas. First is unapproved disease claim, which often trigger warning letters. Then adulterated product such as those spiked with pharmaceuticals. Immediate action including seizure and criminal prosecution. Then GMP violation, which can lead to recalls or injunctions. Then last is new ingredient safety. particularly when companies bypass NDI requirements. For business, avoiding enforcement means careful attention to claims, ingredient selection, and manufacturing standards. So this is Health Canada's Natural Health Product Directorate. Canada has established a unique regulatory framework for natural health product that is distinct from both drugs and dietary supplements. So there are some key aspects of the Canadian system. First is pre-market licensing requirement for all NHPs. Then product license numbers must appear on label. Tied evidence requirement based on claims, site licensing for manufacturer, packagers, and importers. So, Canadian NHP registration pathway. There are three main pathway in Canada. First is monograph pathway, fast track approval if the product fits an existing NNHPD monograph. Then second is non-traditional traditional claims. Product making claims not supported by monograph require additional evidence packages and undergo more extensive review. So this requires additional evidence if claims are not covered by monograph. Then homeopathic medicines evaluated separately with a tailored evidence requirements. So this tiered approach balances efficiency for simple product with a rigor for novel ones. Next is Asia Pacific key regulatory bodies. So these are some key regulatory bodies which includes China's NMPA, National Medical Product Administration regulates the traditional Chinese medicine through a sophisticated framework that often requires clinical trials for new formulation. Then Australia has the TGA, Therapeutic Good Administration, offers listed and registered pathway for complementary medicine with different evidence requirements. Then Japan has pharmaceuticals and medical device agency distinguish between campo medicine and food with a function claims with a self substantiation. And India Ayush Ministry of Ayush governs traditional herbal products with a specific regulations for Ayurvedic, Unani, Siddha, and homeopathic medicines. Then next is traditional Chinese medicine regulations. So in China, the National Medical Product Administration regulates traditional Chinese medicine as a drug, not supplements. That means clinical trial data is often required for new formulation. Then raw material must follow good agricultural and collection practice. Product must meet pharmacopoeia standards for identity and quality. So this is one of the most sophisticated system in the world, and it blends traditional knowledge with modern regulatory rigor. For companies, it means longer approval times but strong credibility once approved. The next is Australian TGA, a risk-based approach. So the Therapeutic Goods Administration in Australia uses a tiered system. First is listed medicine, which is for a low-risk product. Companies self-list them if they use permitted ingredients. Second is assessed listed, that is for medium risk product, which claims must be backed by scientific evidence. And third one is register medicines for a higher risk or novel product requiring full pre-market evaluation. So this flexible system allows faster market entry for a low risk product while still safeguarding consumers when stronger claims are made. Next is Latin America key regulatory bodies. So Latin America has diverse framework. Brazil's ANVISA regulates the phytotherapeutic medicine, requiring standardization and quality control. Mexico's COFEPRIS distinguish between medicines and supplements with a different pathway. Argentina's NMAT requires safety and traditional use evidence, and Colombia's National Food and Drug Surveillance Institute, which is established a unique phytotherapeutic traditional products category with a simplified registration. Then there are some global trends in herbal and nutraceutical regulation. Across regions, several global trends are emerging. Uh, first is first is technological integration, using blockchain for traceability and AI for compliance monitoring. It increased the use of blockchain for supply chain traceability and AI assisted compliance monitoring to ensure the authenticity and quality. Second is traditional knowledge protection, growing recognition of indigenous intellectual property rights and benefit sharing for traditional medicinal knowledge. Next is analytical method advancement, development of more sophisticated analytical techniques for authentication and standardization of complex botanical materials. And last is international harmonization, which efforts toward regulatory convergence through initiatives like Asian harmonization and WHO World Health Organization guidelines for herbal medicines. So these trends signal a future where regulation will become more science driven, transparent, and globally aligned. Next is navigating the global regulatory landscape. So successful compliance requires a structured approach. First is strategic planning, decide which market to prioritize. Second is product development phase, design formulations with the multiple markets in mind. Third one is documentation preparation, build dossiers acceptable to different requirements. Then submission and approval, often sequence market strategically. And last is post market compliance, ongoing monitoring and pharmacovigilance. So this cycle is not one time, uh, it is a continuous throughout the product life cycle. Next is strategic market selection. So market selection is critical. Some market like the US or Australia allow faster approvals, making them good entry points. So typical timelines are 6 to 12 months for first approval in fast track jurisdictions, 1 to 2 years for European Union traditional herbal registration, 3 to 5 years to build a global coverage. Sorry. And by sequencing approvals strategically, companies can save 30 to 50% in resources compared to simultaneous global launches. Then reference market strategy. One smart approach is the reference market strategy. If you gain approval in a respected jurisdiction, it can ace approval elsewhere. For example, Germany or the Netherlands in EU, Saudi Arabia in the Middle East, Australia or Singapore in Asia Pacific, South Africa in Africa. So choosing the right reference market speed entry and reduce the duplication of effort. The next is dossier preparation. This is important. Dossier means we can say it is collective data which has to be maintained. So dossier preparation is maintained in common technical documents. So CTD format provides a standardized structure for registration dossiers that facilitates a multi-market submission. So it includes 5 models. First is region specific administrative information, then overview and summaries of module 3 and 5. Module 3 contains quality documentation, and module 4 is about non clinical study reports, and last module 5 is about clinical study reports. So originally for pharmaceuticals it can be adapted for herbal to simplify multi-market submissions. The next is product development for global compliance. So compliance should start at product development. There is ingredient selection, formulation design, specifications development, stability planning. So ingredient selection, choose those with established safety across market. Formulation design, plan for adaptability. Specifications development, use methods from multiple pharmacopoeia. And stability testing, plan for all climatic zones. So this upfront planning prevents the costly reformulation later. Then claims strategy by region. So claims drive marketing, but rules differ across regions. So in the US, structure function claims dominate. So you can see it is 95% claims predominate due to DSHEA framework. Disease claims require drug approval and rarely pursued for herbals. In the European market, it's 75%. So claims are limited by EFSA's strict approvals. In Australia, it is 60%. Medium level claims are possible. In Canada, monograph based product get specific approved claims. So understanding this difference is crucial for building a global messaging strategy that stays compliant. The next is packaging and labeling strategy. So this packaging labeling presents a significant challenge for global marketing of herbal product. Strategic approach include base packaging design to accommodate all required regulatory elements, use of booklet labels for multiple language requirements, market specific overlay labels for variable elements, QR codes linking to expanded information in local language, careful consideration of prohibited or restricted claims by region, regional packaging variants for significantly different requirements. Then navigating a borderline product classification. So product at the interface between regulatory categories present unique challenges and opportunity. First is a strategic classification analysis. Systematic analysis of product attributes against classification criteria for each market. Pathway selection, evidence based decision on optimal regulatory pathway, balancing speed, claims, and commercial factors. Targeted formulation adaptation, market specific formulation adjustment to maintain desired classification where necessary. So borderline product may require different classifications in different market to optimize claims potential and market access. Then these are post-approval compliance. Maintaining compliance after product approval is an ongoing commitment. So it requires pharmacovigilance system, regulatory intelligence, change management, and periodic reviews. So pharmacovigilance system establishing robust adverse event reporting and monitoring processes compliant with each market requirement. Regulatory intelligence continues monitoring of regulatory development across all markets with systematic impact assessment. Change management coordinated approach to product changes considering varied notification and approval requirements, and periodic reviews, systematic auditing of product compliance status across markets with a proactive remediation. Then these are emerging regulatory challenges: novel ingredient scrutiny, increasing regulatory focus on novel botanical ingredients with a limited history of use, particularly those for a traditional system outside the jurisdiction. CBD and cannabis derivatives. CBD is a cannabis derivative, rapidly evolving and highly variable regulatory approach to cannabinoid containing product, creating a complex compliance landscape. Sustainability requirements, growing regulatory interest in sustainable sourcing with emerging requirements for documentation of environmental impact and conservation status. Digital health integration, regulatory questions arising from integration of supplements with digital health applications and wearable technology for personalized recommendations. These are some leveraging technologies for regulatory compliance. So, first is regulatory information management. So, specialized software platforms tracking registration, variation, and commitments across global market. Second is AI assisted compliance. So, this is for natural language processing tools to monitor regulatory changes and identify impacts on product portfolio. Third one is blockchain for traceability. So distributed ledger technology ensuring transparent supply chains and authenticity verification for botanical ingredients. And last one is electronic document management, which is for a structured system for maintaining dossiers with version control and regulatory submission tracking. So, best practice building a global regulatory strategy. So, best practice which can build a global regulatory strategies by target market assessment. So, evaluate a commercial potential, regulatory complexity, and strategic importance of each potential market. Second is product classification analysis. So by analyzing or determination of the optimal regulatory category in each market based on formulation claims and commercial goals. Then gap analysis, identify the data, documentation, and manufacturing requirement across all the target markets. Then strategic sequencing, develop market entry sequence leveraging reference market approaches and resource efficiency. And resource planning, allocate budget, personnel, and timeline for comprehensive global strategy implementation. So by this we can have the best practice of building a global regulatory strategies. These are regulatory strategy document templates. So comprehensive regulatory strategy document should include executive summary, product overview of formulation indications, evidence based, then target market analysis with a commercial prioritization, regulatory classification by market, data requirement gap analysis, submission strategy and timeline, risk, resource requirements and budget, risk assessment and mitigation plan, post approval compliance strategy, key performance indicators, and milestones. So these are resources for regulatory intelligence. First is official resources. So regulatory authority websites, then official government gadgets, WHO, that is World Health Organization guidelines and monographs, then pharmacopoeia. If we talk about industry associations, so we have IADSA, that is International Alliance of Dietary Food Supplement Association, Global Supplement. Then EHPM, that is European Federation of Associations of Herbal Product Manufacturer. Then CRN, Council for Responsible Nutrition, AHPA, American Herbal Product Association, which is US Herbals. Then subscription services includes regulatory intelligent platforms, industry newsletter, specialist consulting bulletins, database services, and last one is networking, includes regulatory conferences, professional associations, LinkedIn specialist group, industry working groups. Then these are some key takeaways. Strategic approach essential. So global herbal product compliance requires strategic planning from formulation development through post market surveillance, not just tactical regulatory submissions. Then classification determine path, product classification decisions, medicine versus supplement versus food profoundly impact regulatory requirement, claims potential, and market access timelines. Evidence strategy critical, tied evidence strategy addressing multiple regional standards optimizes resource allocation while supporting necessary claims across market, and continuous vigilance required. The regulatory landscape for herbal product is continuously evolving, requiring ongoing monitoring and adaptive compliance strategies. So these are the key takeaways. So the next step in your compliance journey is to enhance your organization's global regulatory compliance capabilities. First is conduct a compliance audit of your current product portfolio against the target market requirement. Develop or update your regulatory strategy documentation. Then establish systematic regulatory intelligence monitoring. Review your global manufacturing and testing network against market specific requirement. Then implement technology solution for documentation management and submission tracking, and build cross functional teams bridging R&D, quality, and regulatory affairs. So thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. It was nice presentation, and you have given the complete overview of the regulatory requirements from different areas. So if there are any questions from the audience, any question? I will just check if there are any question on YouTube. Okay, so I think there are no any questions from the audience. So definitely, as I said, it was lot of information on different regulatory bodies. So we will meet tomorrow at the same time at 2 p.m. and we will be going through different classification across different regions. So, like herbal product, dietary supplement. So different countries, while developing their regulatory, they have put herbals or nutraceutical or um, you know, herbal nutraceutical in different categories like dietary supplements or traditional herbal. So we'll discuss that tomorrow. So thank you, madam.
Yes,
It
sir.
was a nice presentation and have a lot of clarity from your presentation. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.